why on earth would we trust, why would we fund a lab in China, a nation that is not friendly to us, that has designs on global domination, that would have an interest in having bioweapons that could affect adversaries like the United States? What would motivate us to want to share any of this with the Chinese or the Russians or anyone else for that matter?
So I asked that question to a colleague of mine, a GS-15, which is a fairly high-ranking government officer who I had been mentoring and working with at Defense Threat Reduction Agency, different branch from the one that actually funded the Wuhan lab. That was the threat mitigation branch, and he worked for the Chem Biodefense branch. But I asked him exactly that question, and I asked him to inquire of his colleagues, basically across the hall. And the answer that came back to me was the same as I had heard multiple times before from other people that were affiliated with the CIA, for instance, which is that the United States had lost virtually all of its human intelligence assets in China consequent to a leak of information. They were all killed and their families tortured, etc. And that the belief was that we needed to engage with China in some way in order to have some degree of visibility upon which they're acting on the projects that they're endeavoring and the technology that they're developing. And so the best way to do that was akin to the old program that was involved in scooping up the loose nukes in the former Soviet Union and paying those nuclear scientists so they wouldn't go work for the Taliban or whomever. And that was considered a very successful program. So they applied the same logic here. Well, let's fund the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and then we'll at least have some visibility into what's going on there. The Bat Lady appears to have been actually trained here in the United States. My old alma mater seems to have had a role in that, UC Davis, and they had a role in the work that was done here in the Wuhan Institute of Virology and the sequencing and the sequence analysis. But I got to tell you, there is an open question about the true origins of this virus and whether functionally most of this work was actually done by Ralph Barrick at University of North Carolina. And then the products of that engineering were shipped to Wuhan Institute of Virology. So this is a hot topic right now, being investigated by the Director of National Intelligence. And I think we need to kind of stay tuned because there may be some information coming out of that, let's say, is going to upset the dominant narratives.
Well, I am going to run out of time here, unfortunately. Hopefully you can come back if there is any new findings and new information. And I would have thought China would have liked us for buying all their basketball sneakers and cell phones, but apparently we shared deadly virus research with them that turned out to be a disaster for the world.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.